Jeonbuk are one of the stronger teams overall at home this season, but since that last victory at home against Gimcheon on May 17th, they've failed to have any wins at all at this ground. 3 games, 1 defeat to Gangwon and a couple of draws, including that one last time out at home to Seoul. And in response, they make 2 changes to the starting 11. Meng Sung-eun is in for Obadan in midfield, looks like a forced change, and Lee Dong-jun starts in place of Kim Seung-sub on the wing. Now over to Jeju, make 4 changes from the side that was involved in a goal fest that finished 3-3 versus Incheon last weekend. Jo In-jong is in for Kim Ryun-sung at left back. Oh Jae-hyuk's replaced by Lee Chang-min in midfield, with Jang Min-gyu also in and Park Chang-jun out. And the other changes out wide, Choi Byung-wook in for Kim Jun-ha. Jeju did also play a friendly against Bayern Munich on Tuesday evening, finished 2-1 to Bayern. A respectable result from Jeju's point of view, but they won't have wanted to leave too much on the field in that one. And Jeonbuk, the luminous green. It's Jeju kicking us off from right to left. Something up out of nothing. He's scored those 5 goals I talked about before. Another look at Lee here. Among the other fixtures, we've got the East Coast Derby this evening. Pohang also. Daewon on one side and Kim Tae-hyun on the other. Tae-hyun's absence has given Cho Jin some time to develop, as that one slips past everyone behind for a corner. Dangerous moment for Jeju, this. Lee Dong-jun, the pass across the box that really didn't have a right to be that dangerous. Jin goes past him, maybe just grazes his head and finds Emerson Negeba anyway, and he struts it low. It's a clearance from Cho Jae. Moment at the back here for Kim Shin-jin, clutching his knees or shins, suggesting he does need treatment. First substitution of the game, a little bit earlier than we would have expected, much earlier in fact. Italo picks it up in the middle, lays it through to Lee Chang-min and goes down in the box. The referee has pointed to the spot, and I wasn't sure at first if he was going to potentially imply some simulation, the way he poised himself and stopped and just stared for a moment. Overturned. Tallow, those long legs. Plays it past Lee Seung-woo, who just stands in the way, essentially.
온필드 리뷰 결과 전북 10번 선수의 파울로
And penalty stands. Lee Seung-woo is obviously not happy about it. I think, as controversial as it is, once that penalty's been awarded, and the outcome, a penalty to be taken by Emerson Negeba, and he puts it away. 1-0 Jeju. We got a game in our hands. Well, Emerson Negeba ties up with Kim Shin-jin for the club's joint top scorer now, with 3 goals for the season. Seung-woo rather incensed. He immediately seemed to be implying that he was not guilty of a foul when he made the square. Choi Jae, the centre back, we know he likes to shoot. He's going to have a go. Oh, off off the post. He's capable of firing with some real power, but on this occasion it's more of a placement, and he's done very well. Corner now, swung outwards. Jeju, little touch inside. And Gitis Palaskas with an unconventional shot that didn't seem to have a lot behind it, but forced a diving save from the goalkeeper, Kim Dong-jun. Lee Chang-min. Again, it's Gitis Palaskas rushing back. Lee Chang-min caught out completely, and Lee Seung-woo couldn't quite put the finishing touches on. Down the back. Lee Dong-jun to the side netting. We've seen both him and Lee Seung-woo take up useful positions, playing either side of Gitis. Kim Jin-kyu, yet another corner for Jeonbuk. This time the header downward from Jo Wi-jae, held by Kim Dong-jun. It's fired just wide of the post by Lee Seung-woo. Kim Tae-hwan, and another header downward, and it was Lee Seung-woo who almost fed off of Jo Wi-jae's header that bounced into the turf and up again. Lee Dong-jun rather, from a distance. Similar sorts of players, both capable of leaping up. Wasn't sure if they'd be able to defend out the whole game, but they've done a pretty good job of seeing out the first half. 1-0. The penalty scored by Emerson Negeba, the difference between the sides. It's been a rough game in places. Jeonbuk guilty of a few fouls. The one that led to the penalty right on the edge of the box. Join us for the second half in a few minutes. Somewhat questionable. Led to a prolonged review, so we're a bit slow in getting away for the second half. Straight to the wall. Kim Jin-kyu had a number of corners in the first half. He's tying up those set-piece deliveries, and Gitis almost on the end of a cross. Well, he did get a touch, but not nearly enough. It was Lee Seung-woo that time. That's the sort of ball in that they've been lacking. And it's a low drive this time. A touch on the way through. Jeju in a defensive mood. And it's a brilliant save. Not sure if it was onside. Almost certainly off. But Lee Dong-jun forcing the save anyway. You can see he's well offside when the header comes onto him. Been onside, he's really got to score from there. Kim Jin-kyu, short to Meng Sung-woo. Forcing a save that was really a little messy. Could have been punished, but gets away with it. Spilled it, not just spilled it though, but up in the air. It was always begging to be hit by someone falling through. that. Well off target. Jeonbuk using some good strength there. And it's Mathias who also does well. And has it on the edge of the box now. Turns, shoots, just trickles wide. No threat in the end. Oh, that's the moment they've been waiting for. Lee Dong-jun with the ball in. And some holes starting to appear in this Jeju defence. No real pressing to make life harder than it should have been for Lee Dong-jun. Cross is perfect. The header textbook in almost every way, just off target. Referee waves us on. Will accept Mathias' appeal. Lee Dong-jun with another ball. This time to Lee Sung-woo, who shoots and does score! And gets to 6 goals for the season. Twice as many as any Jeju player. Well, they've tried different avenues. We saw a bit of that in the first half from Lee Sung-woo. Wasn't quite happening for him, but we always know he's capable. And Jeju cannot say they weren't warned. Joey Jae and Kang Sang-yoon unable to threaten with that one. Not an easy chance, but the easiest of the 3 from him. Lee Dong-jun with a header across. Gittis! Oh, he just can't get his legs sorted out. Across. It was slightly ahead of Gittis. He just scraped the ball with that left boot and then couldn't get the right boot out quick enough to touch. Listen to the crowd appreciation of Compagnon. Out to Emerson Negeva. This is better from Jeju. And it's crept in at the near post! Well, I did say there was a sense that that threat would still be alive. Jeonbuk had a wave after wave after wave of pressure, but Jeju take the lead again. Emerson Negeva came into this game with a relatively modest tally of just 2 goals for the season. It has doubled his return for the season in one night. He's going to go the other way or pass. His eyes fooling a few. Starting to find their attacking stride again. They just allowed Jeju to pick up their momentum a bit before Jeju's second. Compagnon with the ball through. And I think it was Kang Sang-yoon with that final strike, saved by the keeper. Plays an important role, Compagnon, been missing for so long, all this season. Picks up the loose ball. Crowd surging with expectation as it's chipped on the crossbar. And the free kick goes Jeju's way. Lee Seung-woo, not for the first time in this game, is incensed. Tobias go down. Looking at the referee. That was the first save. Sort of crossbar after that. Kim Jeonbuk lifting it up off the crossbar. And then Lee Seung-woo. I mean, you can understand from Lee Seung-woo's point of view, he's going for the bicycle kick. Youngjae. No whistle. Emerson Negeba. Back into Mateus Ayas, who shot straight at the keeper. Might have led to a bit of a VAR review there. And it's a free kick to Jeonbuk. Talo with the good ball to Kim Ye-gon. Kim Ye-gon. Oh, he shoots at the keeper. It's spilled and it's off target from Italo. Well, that is heart and mouth stuff for Jeju, and pretty devastating for Jeonbuk. The footwork of Kim Ye-gon, after testing the keeper and forcing the spill, someone's going to be putting that away. And Italo was in prime position. It has finished 0-0, Seoul and Gimcheon. So the title race is looking a little closer. At this rate, Jeju might fancy catching up with Seoul themselves as Italo shoots and blocked. And that was not a terrible effort, but it's off target from Lee Young-jae. He's already had a few cracks at it. You've got to be, when you're in that sort of position, thinking, is there someone in a better position? Like they've got a short corner in mind to buy as many seconds as possible. So Mateus Ayas is the recipient in the box. Still Emerson Negeba. Oh, it's in! 3-1! Well, the game on balance has not looked at all like an away win by this margin. Jeju won't care. They were somewhat unfortunate to lose by 2 goals at home when they played Jeonbuk, and this is a measure of revenge. There's no way from 3-1 down that Jeonbuk are coming back now. And Jeju, for the second league game running, have scored 3 goals. But all 3 on this occasion have gone to Emerson Negeba, who's clearly the club's outright top scorer. He didn't have that honour coming into this game, but he's now on 5 for the season, which is just 1 behind Lee Seung-woo, who scored earlier in the game, and he is Jeonbuk's top scorer. And Jeju could go up again the other end, but the referee blows the whistle, comes to the rescue. What rescue it may feel like would be very subdued for Jeonbuk, whose boos ring out to indicate displeasure with that result. An awful one for the defending champions. A wonderful away outcome for Jeju, who've had to ride their luck at times, but have been clinical when it's mattered. And they come away with a surprising 3-1 win.